There we go. So, let's go. So this is you're the second of our little, I don't know what you call them, little series that we're doing for people going through hair loss. And we're going to have different experts coming in or different people telling their stories. And so tonight we have got you, Amanda, from Hair to Wear. So I wondered if you could, first of all, just give us like an insight into you and your hair loss situation.
Yeah, of course. So I first got alopecia at the age of 14. I went into hospital for a very simple keyhole surgery and unfortunately had a severe anaphylactic shock. And the shock to my system made my hair fall out. So I was quite poorly. I was in intensive care for a while. And then when I came out of hospital, my hair started falling out and I lost every hair on my body within 2 weeks after. So I was the age of 14. So obviously an absolute shock, didn't know what to do, absolute panic, didn't want to go to school, didn't really want to leave my bedroom. So then the world of wigs and hair loss kind of came to my doorstep. And it was certainly a journey. It wasn't necessarily great at first. It took me a while to find the good people in the
Yeah.
industry. And then unfortunately, my first wig that my parents bought me at the age of 14 we got really ripped off. We got sold a wig that wasn't suitable for a child, wasn't suitable
Oh,
for a sure it wasn't a medical wig. But the positive that we took from that is it really gave my mum and I the fire in our belly to say, this can't keep happening to people. Why is this happening? So that's where the idea of Hair to Wear was born, really. We'd gone into quite a few places that were, say, wig shops where you'd walk in and there was loads of wigs and people trying them on for fun and messing around. And I just walked out so many places at that age in tears because I felt it was so specialised, so personal to me that it was part of my life, that I just didn't feel comfortable. So it wasn't until we found the wonderful Trenco down in Brighton that I found a safe place where I thought, wow, this is what it's all about. And then 25 years ago, with the help of Keith that found Trenco, he supported my mum in opening Hair to Wear. So we have been open, 2001 we opened. So it'll be our 24th year we've just hit. So she started off on her own, just her, not knowing too much about wigs apart from having a daughter that wears them. And then she kind of went on this journey. And then 10 years ago, I came in. I didn't when she first started, I was really reluctant to talk about my alopecia. I was quite embarrassed by it. It was a massive taboo for me. And then for me, when I became part of the salon, it became so much easier meeting like-minded people every single day, and then realizing that actually I can really support people that are beginning their journey of hair loss, of any type of hair loss, really. And that's kind of, for me, what I do every day. I feel super lucky that I've kind of do this. And sometimes that 14-year-old girl walks in and I think, I can help you here. Or
yeah.
it could even be someone with mild hair thinning through menopause. It really doesn't have to be as extreme as alopecia totalis, because I think what I've learned the most is it affects everybody so different.
Yeah.
So you may have someone walk in completely bored and go, look, I can own this. And you may have someone with mild hair loss that goes, I'm really not. I don't want to go for that job interview. I don't want to go for dinner with friends. And it's really affected me. And I think it's so personal. So for me to be able to support on that daily basis, everybody on that spectrum is, I feel quite lucky, should we say.
Yeah, mine has, and you're not going to see it here now, but mine with menopause has started here. I don't know if you can see like around here now.
It's
It's just
so
started
common.
coming out. And
Yeah.
I've only recently thought, oh God, that is actually more than I want it to be. Like I've noticed it more and I felt really like conscious,
Constant.
not wearing it in a bun at night, taking it down, covering this side. Like I feel like it's bothering me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
It
other
really
people would
does.
be fine with that, wouldn't they? It wouldn't bother them at all. But
I think it does, and it has such a big impact. And like I say, it could be really, really mild to completely extreme. And I think sometimes it's just, but my heart lies in finding the right solution to what makes that person feel comfortable. So for me, I've worn wigs for nearly 30 years now. I wear them every single day. It feels like it's part of me. I get up in the morning, I plonk it on, I put my face on, off I go. I don't obviously think about it at all really anymore. apart from when I'm at work, because it'd be crazy not to share it. Um, but I love it sometimes. The amount of times people come in, they go, "Oh, but your hair's so lovely. I wish I could have yours." And I'm like, "Well, you
You
can,
can.
but actually, I quite like this one, but we'll find one similar." And they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that's a wig." And I think the same thing for all of it. Obviously we do the eyebrow tattooing, and so it's not just wearing a wig and getting on with life. I think sometimes it's the questions and maybe the taboos that come with hair loss that can make it really hard. So for me to be able to support people through that, whether it's chemotherapy, whether it's alopecia, whether it's hair thinning or scarring or whatever it is, sometimes it's them little questions, whether it's a little text message or, or somebody saying, I've gone to this event because you've helped me do that. And I think for me,
Yeah.
that drive every single day is what makes it worthwhile.
Can they do that with you, Amanda? Can they send you a text if they had a quick like question, or do you have like a WhatsApp for your business or?
Yeah. So we have a 24-hour hotline,
Oh, okay.
which I will support, or if I can't, then Kim will.
Yeah,
So we have that regardless for anybody going through chemotherapy, because obviously if hair loss happens super quick or the matting starts or the scalp sore, or we generally will have that number to be like, we are here, we'll support you. I've been known on a Sunday to come in and do a haircut or fit a wig, or, we will make sure it works.
yeah,
But yeah, a lot of the time with my younger clientele, they'll send me DMs on Instagram or TikTok, or they'll
yeah.
WhatsApp me. And I think it's easier sometimes for them to connect that way. And the same with FaceTime sometimes, just like, can I just talk? And what I always say to them, what could take me 5 minutes out of my day might be a bit of a game changer for you. So
Yeah, yeah,
for me, it's really important that we're really accessible at times of need. And I don't always think that is 9 till 5.
yeah,
Sometimes it is. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I might have a bit of a sore head.
yeah,
But it's generally not. It's usually Sunday mornings or 8 o'clock in the evening, and it's normally a really honest kind of
yeah,
help. Yeah, so it's
yeah.
always in. So I generally don't mind doing that. It's
I was quite surprised with the with regards to the Murphy project when someone had who lived here in Aberystwyth had got in touch with you via me to sort out her wig, because our wig options really aren't the best in rural areas. They're very old fashioned, or I don't feel people maybe deal with it very sensitively. And I watch some of their social media, I think, oh, it's not a joke, like this is really important to some people. And so yeah, they got in touch with you and you arranged it all like via here. And
yeah.
I was thinking, because I knew you were coming up and she was meant to be getting it from you, and I was thinking, oh, it's gonna go, because I've obviously recommended you as well, and I was
Yeah.
the best of you being able, like with lighting and stuff, you look different,
Yeah.
don't you? But she was so pleased with it, and yeah,
I think we can make it work anyway. And I think we've been really lucky. I think since the pandemic for me, we really want to be hands-on. So the only time we really did wigs when people weren't in our chair was a lot of the time for the Little Princess Trust, but we could still go into hospitals and fit, or we would go and do home visits, at domiciliary visits we do for a lot of our NHS hospitals, or we'll do hospital fittings. But then I soon realised when I was having to do FaceTimes in the lockdown, it's really quite easy.
yeah,
In the perfect world, I would love a bum on my seat, and I would love
yeah.
to be able to do everything on her or him or anyone. But it works, and we've it's been super easy. So our clientele's really expanded. We've got clients in France, Spain, sort of all around Europe. And they might come in maybe if they are buying something quite exclusive for that original fitting.
Yeah, yeah.
They might fly over for the day or something. But generally, it works really well. And the great thing is, we could have a consult and say, yeah, I want a colour, I want a root touch up, I want this, I fancy that, and then just pop it in the post, and we do it that day and pop it back. It is really
I
that
think
simple.
it's good as well when you first try one on for yourself. I imagine doing it yourself at home when no one's watching you is probably quite like less scary in a way.
Really,
Or like if you did my hair for me, and then I think I'm never going to be able to do that again on my own. Whereas if
yeah.
I'm doing it myself at home, it probably does give you a confidence boost that you can do it, doesn't it?
Yeah, and just lots of practice. And I think my best tip is always, especially for ladies that are really new to it, just start wearing the wig, get used to it, don't be scared of it. And
Yeah,
I think the biggest thing I always say is try and enjoy it, which I think at first is almost insensitive. Like there's nothing fun about this. But
yeah,
I know for me, when the penny dropped that, okay, I'm going to probably be in wigs for the rest of my life. This is it now. I've got to start embracing them. My mindset completely shifted. So
yeah,
I would go and get a new wig. I didn't want to talk about, didn't really particularly want to look in the mirror. I was very, very anxious of it. Um, And I would always go with the mindset, well, I'll have hair again in a couple of months, so this isn't really a big deal. And then when we got sort of 4 years down the line, I was a bit like, okay,
Right. Yeah.
this isn't going to happen. So we've got to start sort of thinking more long term. And I think for me, when I did that, everything shifted in regards to how I then started weirdly enjoying it. And I went from being scared of this thing and being like, I don't want to talk about it and this isn't happening, to suddenly like, well, it's part of me and it's all right. And I
Were
think for
you
me, that
quite? Were you quite? Sorry. Were you quite? You wouldn't talk about it then at the beginning. Did you just act like it wasn't happening?
so when it first happened, I was at school, and then I was at college, and I found that really hard because I lived
Yeah.
in Hertfordshire in a small town, and I felt like everybody knew, but I felt that alopecia certainly then wasn't really well talked about, certainly with women. So a lot of people believed I had cancer, and then I found myself explaining myself a lot and saying it's just alopecia, you know, it's just hair loss. This is what's happened to me, and I found that quite hard. But then I went to university at 18, and I made a decision to go and not tell anybody because I moved away, and actually I had 3 years there, and that was so good for me. Between the ages of 18 to 21, I told the girls that I lived with. I'd lived with some amazing girls that I'm still really good friends with. So I found that really safe because then when I sort of got to 21 and I graduated, I felt that I could tell who I chose rather than everybody kind of knowing
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And I feel, you know, and I say this all the time to my clients, it's not necessarily the people that love us and support us, it's the other comments that you sometimes get
Yeah.
that you can't control.
Yeah.
I think that's what can really bring you down. And sometimes it is nice that you've got a really nice safety network that can ask the questions and sort of say, well, what is it and what does it mean? And
Yeah.
tell me about your wig, or how does that work? But then there is the other negative side as well. So I think for me, I sort of felt at the age between 18 and 21, I started controlling it. So rightly or wrongly, I kept it to myself, but I felt that I sort of controlled it. So at that point, it felt like the right thing to do because I think for me, it happened so quickly. There was no way to kind of hide it.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'd lost every hair, so I had no eyebrows, no eyelashes. It was all quite hard to disguise at the time. I didn't really understand it. But I feel now we've moved on, we've shifted so well, you know, like with Alopecia UK, with the Little Princess Trust, with the education that's going in on schools, support groups. I feel that it's getting and got so much better, especially for kids. I mean, the amount of kids that come in here and say, oh, I've done a presentation to my class or my year. And I'm like,
Yeah. Wow.
fine,
Yeah.
because I just think that's amazing. So I think it's definitely got easier, should I say? I mean, I know I'm sitting from a place where that's what I
Yeah.
do every day, so I'm probably, you know, in a very comfortable space here. But I think it has, and I think, you know, people are talking about it more, and I think wigs have become more acceptable. I think
Yeah.
they're becoming a bit of a fashion statement. We've got like the Kardashians, whether we like it or not, we've got people wearing them, and it's not such an ick, you know.
Yeah.
I think a lot more people, it's becoming relatable. So,
It was
and
like it was almost like a comedy item at one time, wasn't it? You know,
absolutely,
like, and so I think when you see people in wig shops mucking about and trying them on, it
mm.
kind of adds like a comedy element to what's going on, doesn't it? You know?
But that's like with hair to wear, we only deal with hair loss for that reason.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll get people come in or contact us and say, well, I don't see why I can't just try them on. I'll spend money with you. And I said, it's not about the money. For me, this is a safe space for people with hair loss. So they come
Yeah.
in.
It's the integrity of what you're doing.
Absolutely. And it is a salon, and it's a salon made for hair loss. So I don't really see it as a wig shop. All our wigs are in boxes away, and we'll do it really bespoke. I mean,
Yeah.
apart from see behind me, obviously I've
Yeah.
got some hair up. Not every week. But yeah, so we'll do it a lot more bespoke, and it's not so overwhelming. We're not going to start trying hundreds on you in loads of different colours. We're going to get it right down to what is right for you. So you're not kind of getting overwhelmed. You're getting a
Yeah.
professional service. We're going to fit, cut, style. Everything's going to be great for you. And we'll be doing that for you. And then it does get to the point where when clients start coming back in, they'll be telling us what they want. And if they are long-term clients, I love it because that's when they'll get a little bit diva-ish and be like, well, this
Yeah.
is what I want now. And I'm like, yes, she's telling me. And she's like coming in with pictures. And, you know, I took this picture of this girl on the bus because their hair looks so awesome. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yes. And it
Yeah.
is such a lovely feeling. And it might go from feeling like you just want to blend in, which I get, to suddenly, actually, I want you to create this. And I love that feeling.
It's probably
I've,
quite achievable as well on hair that's not your own. Like
yeah,
sometimes I'd go in and say I want this, and they think, well, your hair's really fine, and that's not going to
yeah.
work. Whereas like
Yeah.
everything's achievable, isn't it, in the wig wearing world? Really, you know.
I always joke about and say that we work with the most expensive girls' worlds going. You know, when you're a kid and you get your girls' world at home, I should have known
Yeah.
then. And
Yeah.
now we're working, and that's what we do. And we're hand painting on heads that don't move.
Yeah.
And we can spend days doing if we need to. So
Yeah.
you can really put some masterwork into getting some amazing creations. So that side of it for us is always really good fun. We like a challenge as well. Someone comes in, they're like, I want this. And we're like, oh, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
is really good fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So but
When
it's
you
always
first
worth it.
when you first kind of were going through it, what were like the worst things that could happen at the time? What made it worse? Was there anything that you just wish you'd known back then?
Yeah, I think if I could say to my younger self, my 14-year-old self, Amanda, I'd be like, don't worry about what other people think, because that was my biggest fear. And obviously, that kids at that age, they did use nasty words. I'd be called a freak. I went from being very normal, kind of typical, obsessed with the Spice Girls, living my life, to suddenly feeling like a complete outsider. And I think it's just being able to say to yourself, you're okay, it's going to be okay, and you can just be you. And I think that's the same with anybody with any difference, really. I admire people, and I admire people that I follow online or I see in the street that don't wear wigs. I think, good for you, girl, you look amazing.
Yeah.
And then I admire the people that do. And I think if I could go back and just say to myself, just be a bit nicer, because you're going to be all right. It's just a journey we're going on. And actually, without the last 30 years of me being on this journey, I wouldn't be doing exactly what I'm doing
Yeah.
now. Sounds so cliche and weird, but it is. For me, I kind of just feel so lucky that I can do that. It just feels really natural. People come all the time and they'll say, God, you love your job, don't you? And I say, I don't really work. I don't feel like I've got a job. I come in, I meet nice people, I help them, and they leave feeling happy. It is just constant reward. But that vulnerability, like the first time walking in myself and walking in a few places, I'd go, absolutely not going back in there. And just how awful it felt, and how isolated it was, really, not wanting to look in the mirror, not wanting to go out, not wanting to sort of just be you. So I think for me, it's so important for me to constantly try and help people get to their happy place, whether that's with a wig, without a wig, but just feeling really good and being able to just have the life that they want. And I think that is so important.
On the side of like what made it better then, is it like the opposite of being more open and talking about it? And
Yeah,
did you
I
get a
think
chip on your shoulder? Like, did you have a bit of a chip on your shoulder because you were
oh,
waiting for the shit to arrive so you'd be in control of it?
I think I was in denial for about 4 years. My hair's coming back. This hasn't happened to me. Like, I'm okay. I don't want to talk about it. No one's allowed to talk about it. I've got one photo of me at 14 without my wig on, and that's because my brother took it on a portable throwaway camera, and he got told off for doing it because I wouldn't have any pictures done. I wouldn't have anything. And now I'm like, oh God, I wish I had loads more of my journey. But at the time, I remember everything was so negative. But my parents were really kind of tough love with me.
Thing.
You get your bum out of bed, you're going to school, you're
Yeah.
going to college. And I remember saying when I got into uni, I'm just going to take a gap year and go when I get hair. And my mum was like, yeah, that probably won't
Yeah.
happen. So do you want to get your bum out, get going now? So
Yeah.
it's really nice that they were sort of supporting me. And she said it was hard at times
Oh, I
because I
bet.
really cared for you, and I'd want to be like, oh, I just want to hold her. But
Trying to
she would be,
fix it. Yeah.
yeah, she would be like, you get out there and you do that. And we love you, but you're not going to spend this time feeling sorry for yourself. You've got to get on with life. So I think that really helped me to be able to go, okay. And then to make it smaller as well, and it not be my whole world.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning it obviously was. And I didn't understand why nobody else would see that.
Yeah.
But then when it became just part of me rather than me, I think that's when the mind shift came in. And I think that's so important that it doesn't own you and it doesn't control you, and you control it, and you make it as small as you possibly can, so you can get on with everything else, all the amazing things that happen in life. And I think that's been really important for me. And I still have wobbles. Holidays are a real trigger for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have times I think, oh, and I think I always will. I'm going to a spa tomorrow, which I can't wait. And but again, that I'll be quite anxious of that, and then I'll kind of decide in the morning, how am I going to play this? And I might not kind of know until I'm in the situation, but I make
Yeah.
sure
How
that
comfortable you are.
yeah, how comfortable am I? What do I feel like? But I'll make sure that I'm aware of it, and then
Yeah.
I'm in control of it. So
Yeah.
when I go on holiday, I've got more wigs packed than I've got shoes, and I've got more forehead wear packed than and different creams for my scalp and things like that. That would be just as important to me, if not more, and making sure I've got everything that I need, rather than even thinking before I've even thought about packing normally.
Yeah.
I mean, ironically, I did get stuck in Thailand last year. Not stuck, it was amazing, island hopping, and I ran out of conditioner and I was like, how has this happened? You give all this advice to all these people. This is what we don't ever put on our wigs. And there was me in the middle of Thailand trying to read these ingredients, like, I don't even know what I'm going to use. I was like, I've just got to own this. I completely messed up. So that was quite funny.
Have you got like any go-to products that you could recommend on here for people?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say, obviously, we do fibre wigs and human hair wigs. And my biggest bugbear and my biggest thing that I always say is if you're buying human hair wigs, don't buy cheap because there's so many products out there that could be really good for like biological hair, but they're
Yeah,
really, really bad for wigs. And it's mainly because they're all hand knotted. So
right.
what you never want to do is put the weight into the wig. So for example, like silicones, as you know, both of my children have got hair down to their bottoms, and I will use quite a lot of heavy products to kind of get that shine in and really
Yeah,
boost their hair, which is beautiful. But we would never use it on a wig because it's a
okay.
coat of thicker plastic and it will put weight on the wig. So things like sulfate, paraben, and silicones, we would use in traditional products. We just don't really try and stay away from. And my biggest thing would be glue. So a lot of like the youngsters at the moment are using like got to be glue on their wig lines
Yeah, I
or
see that a lot with the little
yeah.
cones and
But the got to be glue is a really bad product because it's glue. So as soon as you put glue on a wig and then you brush it, it'll start ripping out the knots. So
okay.
if you've bought a really cheap wig that maybe you're going to wear, I don't know, 10 times, and it is for fun and it is a cool fashion wig, then I think absolutely use your glues, use your sprays. But if you've bought an investment piece,
Yeah,
don't go near them. I mean,
okay.
we've had a few emergency times in here where people have turned up and it's absolutely caked, and we've, oh, what do we do? And you spent so much money on this. So for me, it's definitely what not to use is more
Okay.
important. So I'll always say, if you're unsure, I mean, we work with Insight, which is a Italian brand. So all the products we buy in here, we know and have been trained to use that are really good on wigs. But the most important product for any wig is hair oil, whether you're wearing fibre or human hair. And the funny thing is, if a lot of ladies are coming to me and they've gone to maybe other places, I find that people aren't told this enough, and I just
Mm,
can't understand it because obviously you haven't got natural oils coming through the wigs at all. It's not got a live cuticle or live follicle.
yeah,
So you need to hydrate them every single day. So you need to be putting an oil through a wig. Whether it's fibre or human hair, and you need to be doing that minimum of once a day when you take it off. If it's like really long, or I would say if the weather's a little bit freak, it's either really, really hot or really, really cold, then really we want to be doing that twice a day because the more we hydrate it, the longer it's going to last.
doesn't go
So
greasy. Will it not make it go greasy?
right, you avoid the top because
Okay.
you don't want that looking slick. That obviously is not a look that anyone wants. But round the mids and the ends, it will never go greasy because
Okay.
but it will dry out. And I think like with fibre wigs, that they haven't got a massive lifespan. If you're wearing every single day like me, you're probably only going to get 6 months out of a fibre wig. So it really isn't long if you're wearing that one wig every day.
Yeah.
But we do find if you're really oiling it and hydrating it, especially as it starts to get older, you might get another 2-3 months out of that.
Okay.
So that's really important. And then not being scared to wash it. Something else I see quite a lot of people think if I don't wash it, it's going to really last me. But actually, it can be the complete opposite because we wear, especially my ladies are going through chemo, they're told to wear like a really strong SPF. They're wearing factor 50 on their face, rightly so. Or we've got all these awesome creams out now. We're wearing hyaluronic acids. We're wearing, everything else on our face, anti-wrinkle creams. Amazing for our skin, maybe. But if you're wearing a lace front wig, they are so bad because they erode the wig.
Oh, okay.
So they're too strong for the wig. So, and the same with makeups. So you could end up with a really cloggy, it'll
Yeah.
foundation or your concealer, your blusher, and it will all absorb in the wig, and it can actually make the wig start to rip.
Okay.
So I think the gut instinct is if I don't wash it a lot, it's going to last me a lot
Gonna be
longer.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, all right, and I just won't do that. As where my advice is no wash. I mean, I will wash mine minimum of once a week. And I think that's about right. So every sort of 5-6 wears, if you're wearing it all day, every day, and you're wearing makeup or products, it's just really important that you're washing it, and it is keeping. And also for skin hygiene, because we've got to keep our scalps really nice. So I've got a really sensitive scalp. I struggle to put a lot of things next to my skin. So it's really important, I think, if you have got, alopecia or you've got treatment, you're looking after the scalp. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of times people go, I don't even think about my head.
No, they're just
Think
covering the
about it.
head.
Yeah,
Just cover
I'm
it
putting,
up. Yeah.
I'm putting my oils on my wig and I'm doing everything you said, but actually, what about my scalp? So we sell products in here, and like for me, we do the lenitive cream that we've done a competition on before. I'll put that on mine every single night, and I'll use it like a head moisturizer, because again, if we're using too heavy products, especially if you're quite new to hair loss, it's too heavy for the scalp. And then, so, like Will always advise, you're doing that, you're cleaning the scalp in the evening just as much as your face, and
Yeah.
then you're putting creams on, you're hydrating it. And then, like Will say, putting your turban on or something over the top just to make you feel good. It's a nice feeling, but also it's quite soothing.
Yeah.
And I think that is probably what I hear the most. I did not even think about me.
Yeah.
It's about the wig, but yeah, what about me? So
What
that's,
was that? What was that product you were showing me, Amanda, at our wellbeing event? And it was I feel like it was an Australian make, maybe, and it was called like, what's it
Mugu.
called?
Mugu.
Nugo. Someone was asking me the other day, so I said, "Oh, I'll try and get it on here so I can record it."
Yeah.
Is that
So
products for the hair or your head?
that is not for wigs. So Mugu is an Australian brand, and it's called Mugu because ironically, it came from dairy farmers,
Okay.
and they produced the first product, which is called udder cream. They produced it for the udders of cows, so it's like
Oh,
this
okay.
consistency,
Soothing.
and then they painted it. And then I think it was the owner's mum or somebody had a skin condition and they started using it on her. And then they realised they'd got this formula that hadn't really been done, but it was all natural products. So they started with that one, and then they've got a really good base now. So
Okay.
they do an oncology. Some really good oncology products as well. So they do like little oncology packs. And my mum took one. So obviously my mum went through treatment last year. And when she was admitted, she took one. She said that was perfect. It had everything in it that I needed. So, for
Oh,
example, she couldn't use normal deodorant because she had breast
yeah.
cancer. So they've created a deodorant that is
Oh, I can have a
natural.
look at that. Okay.
It's so good. And then they've got different scalp creams for different conditions, different face creams, different conditions. But there's shampoos and conditioners we recommend as well. Really good on new hair. So if it's coming back post
Yeah.
treatment, it's just really nice product. So my mum now is 18 months nearly in remission. But she still uses the Mugu every day. So I'm like, still
I'll
use
look
it,
it up
Mum.
after
It's a
this.
really,
Okay.
yeah, it's a really kind product. It's going to be really nice to your skin, and really just treat, like with her hair and her body, treating it like more like a newborn baby
Yeah.
when it's gone through so much trauma to get it back. So all their products are so good. And I think they're approved by oncology as well and dermatology.
Okay.
So that just makes it even better. But what's really good with all the oncology, they'll explain it and they'll explain why you can use it and why you can't. And I think that's all why you can, because you can use all of them. But I think that's so reassuring.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are products. I mean, we work with Mugu and they'll come out when there's new things, when there's a couple of new products out, they'll come out and give us education on them. And yeah, I think they're awesome.
Fab.
So definitely a really good brand that I'd recommend to anyone.
So,
Um,
there's 6 minutes left on our little timer thing. As like the last question before we let you go,
yeah.
for people that are looking at getting a wig,
Mm.
what's like the main advice you give them, whether it's first time buying one or they're just going to be spending money on one and treating themselves? What's like the main tip you'd give them?
That's a really good question. My advice, always go into a hair loss salon.
Yeah.
It is impossible to not. And go to a hair loss salon that is NHS approved. Because to be NHS approved, I think there's 46 of us in the UK now. So there's quite a lot. It's not a case of, oh God, I'm not going to find one. But being NHS approved, you really have to jump through hoops to get there. And you have to have absolutely everything in place. All your staff have to be really highly skilled hairdressers for a start. But also you've got all your insurances, you're constantly up to date. And most importantly, you're selling medical wigs.
Yeah.
Because you can go out there and you can buy wigs, but if they're not medically approved, like I did when I first bought mine, that isn't going to be comfortable and it's probably going to put you off wig wearing for life.
What makes
So
it medically approved? What's the
it's
difference?
the way the cap's made. So the
Okay.
way that it's made. So my first wig was actually a theatre wig. So it's
Oh,
very
okay.
scratchy and rough. So
Yeah.
you'll put next to a bald, sensitive scalp, you just want to rip it off.
Yeah.
So like my wig now is made out of silk and silicone. So
Okay.
so lightweight and lovely to wear, but it's made for alopecia, so it's got its, you know, that's the outcome and that's what it's there for. So I think by going to a professional, it's never about how much you're going to spend. I think you could spend £100, you could spend £1,000. It isn't about that. I think it's about getting the professional advice in the beginning, and it could be as simple as how to aftercare, how to put a wig on, but also you're getting a professional cut.
Yeah.
So, you know, every wig doesn't fit everybody, even if you're getting off the peg. Like, I have got the worst flattest head ever. If I wear wigs off the peg, they look awful on me, and I have to take them in quite a bit. So we cut them, we sew them, and we make them more to measure. And that could completely change the way that you're wearing a wig. It
Yeah.
just, and it could give you so much more confidence because it isn't too big. You're not holding on to it, not worried about the wind. You know how to wear it. So my advice is always go to a professional and never be scared of asking the questions. We do it for a living. You know, we're there to be asked. So if you've got questions, and my best bit of advice is keep going back.
Yeah.
Keep persevering with it. If you've got a wig and it doesn't feel right, something's not right, go back. Like we say, come in and see us, because we'll know exactly what it is within the first few minutes sitting back in the chair. It might be, we
Yeah.
just need to take it here, or we need to take it in, or rather than going, this wig wearing isn't for me, I'm just going to put it in a box and it's never going to happen. Just keep going back and keep asking the questions. And I think then it will change the way that you wear, and hopefully just having a positive experience. And if you feel that something isn't right, then go somewhere else. Just think, this is, you know, I need to get this, I need to get this right. And never to feel bad about that. Like, this is my journey, and
It's their
we've got,
job.
yeah, it's their job. And that's what I say all the time. People go, oh, I'm really sorry I've come back. I'm like, this is what I do. You don't apologise. This is what we're here to do.
And if you
And
went and spent hundreds of pounds on a top somewhere or anything else and it wasn't right, you'd go back, couldn't you, and get it sorted?
Absolutely. And so I think don't be afraid to ask questions, but stick to professionals. And there's so many good ones out there. You know, and I think we all do interlink. I think we're really lucky that we're not all on top of each other. We're all around the UK, and you know, as weird as it sounds, we do help each other out. We might have phone calls saying, "Oh, I suppose you've got one of these. I'm desperate, and my
Yeah.
client needs this." So actually, that it's okay. And I've had clients that have said, "Oh, I can't come to you anymore. I'm moving away. Can you recommend someone closer to me?" And I'll say, "Yeah, I'll have a look." And if it is
Yeah.
somebody that I know, or I've gone on a course with, or I've linked in with, yeah, absolutely. And I think that's quite common practice as well in the industry, which I think is really nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
If people want to find you, Amanda, like where are you? What's your Instagram? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so we are headtoware.co.uk, and that is Instagram, Facebook, website. And then on the website, we do all our blogs, which we try and do monthly. And then we are based in Ware in Hertfordshire, which is north of London. And then, like I say, we can do FaceTime. So a lot of the time, we will do a FaceTime first of all, and then someone might come in for a fit-in, but we can completely work online as well. So, and we can give all that advice. Sometimes it's just hair loss advice that could be really simple to us, and that we can sort of give. And or even guide in the right direction, because obviously we're really fortunate to work with, we work with 15 NHS hospitals, and we work with a lot of private hospitals as well. So we're really super fortunate to sort of get that guidance, but also be able to pass people on as well if we
Yeah.
feel that they need that. So yeah, we're really fortunate that we know some people in the right places, which is really helpful. Yeah.
Amazing. Right, we're down to the last minute, love. So I'm gonna
Oh,
say
thank you
thank
for
you
having
very,
me.
very much. I'm gonna save this on YouTube so people can come and have a nosy.
Amazing.
And yeah, maybe we'll speak again soon anyway and do something different, talk about something different. But I really appreciate you coming in to record it and chat it. Yeah, love it. Thanks.
Yeah. No, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me, and
Thanks,
have a
love.
wonderful evening.
You too. See you later.
Take care. Bye.